Hi everyone, good morning. I'm from University of 17 Agustus 1945. Today I will present my full paper written by Mikalista Alda and my lecturer Memlinusia Marcy. This paper, entitled Attaining Recognition as a Transgender in Cosmopolitan Community, reflected in Moi Rizal's Bangkok journal. This study explores the position of a transgender that is often marginalized in most societies and how transgender attain a recognition in cosmopolitan community. This study focuses in 2 points. First, it reveals how being a transgender cannot be accepted in certain societies. Second, how cosmopolitan community makes it possible for a transgender to get recognition. The methodology that I use is qualitative descriptive by Crianto. The aim is to explain a phenomenon in depth and breadth. Before I get far, I will explain a little bit about Bangkok the Journal novel. Bangkok the Journal novel is one of the best-selling novels in the market. It tells about the journey of Edvan and Edwin, who seek their mother's legacy in the form of journal that is widely distributed in Bangkok City. Edwin is a transgender from male to female or transgender woman. During their journey to seek their mother's journal, Edvan learns a lot of values of which is related to transgender. The transgender issues depicted in the novel include marginalization of transgender and transgender effort to gain recognition. For the result and discussion, I divide it into 3 parts. First is marginalization of transgender include how they get rejection from their family member and society, and how they discrimination in workplace, and how they experiences verbal abuse. And the second, I will talk about how they gaining recognition from community in Thailand and from family. And the last, I will explain about what cosmopolitan community is. And this is an overview about Cosmopolitan. They truly open in the aspect, behavior and thoughts. They believe the important to be oneself. Also, they accept and respect someone as they are. The next, I will explain about transgender. The term transgender refers to any individuals whose gender identity differs from the sex they were assigned at birth. Transgender is a person who has changed or in the process of transitioning their physical sex to conform to their gender identity is referred to as transsexual. Next, what cosmopolitan community is. Cosmopolitan community comes from cosmopolitanism. Cosmopolitanism is a theory of the belief that all people are entitled to equal respect and consideration regardless of their status or other affiliations. Cosmopolitanism holds that all people are equal regardless of their physical and non-physical forms. Someone who adheres to this idea is called a cosmopolitan. Cosmopolitan is usually motivated by universalism, which has the aspect of equality of values for each human being. They are also very open to different ideas and ways of doing things. Cosmopolitan believes in human rights by preserving a human identity. Next, this quotation shows how Edwin gets rejection from his family member. His brother Edvan is not able to accept his new identity as a transgender. Because Edvan, his brother, shamed and afraid of the consequences he will face it if people find out. And next, how they get discrimination in workplace. as transgender people are often excluded from lucrative jobs. So what lucrative job is? Lucrative job is a job that is profitable, such as to be a doctor or an employee in a company. So, most transgender have limited career opportunities because of their identity. Because of this, usually trans people only work in a few fields such as in beauty field or being an entertainer or working in sex area. In this case, Edwin chose to become a fashion stylist and running a clothing business. How they experience verbal abuse. In this quotation shows how Edwin experiences verbal abuse. Edwin becomes the subject of violence. People insult him with rude words to belittle him. This indicates that transgender existence is not accepted by society, especially in Indonesia, as a complete human being. And what verbal abuse is? Verbal abuse is an act of attack to criticize, insult, and forcibly denounce others. And how Edwin gaining recognition? Since it's not easy to get recognition in Indonesia, Edwin decided to find a community that can accept sexual minority. Thailand is a country that is more open to existence of transgender people. Thailand, also known as gay paradise. This place became Edwin chases. In Thailand, he joins Miss International Queen, a transgender beauty worldwide contest held in Pattaya. The participants of this contest are from around the world. Participants include Miss Nigeria, Miss Philippines, also Miss Brazil. Next, this quotation represents the opinion of people in Bangkok about the existence of transgender people. The quotations also emphasize that the most important thing in being a human being is to be oneself, not to lie to oneself, because lying to oneself means hurting oneself. Being oneself makes someone happier and useful. This kind of open-mindedness of people in Bangkok makes them deserve to be called cosmopolitan. As you can see, these quotations talk about a family. It can be concluded that family is truly important for marginalized people, especially for a transgender. Family is what they need the most in carrying out a difficult life as a transgender. The first quotation I get from the dialogue. The dialogue are between Edwin and a mother who has a transgender child, and the second also a family that has a transgender family member. Their view emphasizes that to be oneself is truly important, and they also accept their family as they are. In the last, Bangkok people's view changed Edwin's mind. Slowly, he accepts his new brother identity. The conclusion is, transgender people often face discrimination and violence in most societies due to transphobia. Therefore, it's not easy for transgender people to gain recognition in society. The possibility to gain recognition is by living in cosmopolitan community whose members are open-minded people. Cosmopolitan has an open view of differences and can accept humans as they are. Their open-mindedness has made them to be able to respect and accept the existence of transgender people. Through the representation, it can be concluded that texts in Bangkok the Journey reinforce the existence of transgender people. Transgender people are also human beings who created by God. Therefore, societies should accept their existence, without being judgmental. In general, it can be inferred that Rizal has succeeded in representing the life of a transgender in wider community through the main character Edwin. Starting from he was marginalized until he got recognition from community that can accept him. Rizal has also been successful in providing a moral message about the cosmopolitan views of transgender people. Every detail is well described in this novel by Rizal. This novel, written by Moy Rizal, the title is Bangkok the Journal from Gagas Media, published in 2013. The data I searched from books, journal, article, research paper, and websites. So, thank you everyone for listening to my presentation. I hope you understand and learn something from my presentation. See you next time!